could anyone be so cold-bloodedly calculating?
Oh, he's more than that. The things that were done to Flynn, we're dealing with a total psycho. If the police don't get him, God help whoever he goes after next.
Head down. Neighbourhood like this, there could be a sniper at every window. Right. Coast is clear. Company, advance.
Etty, wait a minute. Come back here.
What's the matter?
Look, Etty, I think the best thing is if I go in there and you wait outside in the car.
I'll do no such thing.
Don't you think it's a bad strategy if we both go in there? If it is a trap and they get both of us, there'll be no one out here to go for reinforcements.
Oh, yeah, hadn't thought of that.
If I get into any trouble, I'll scream, and then you can go for help. Does that make sense?
I suppose so. Look, why don't I go in there and you stay out here?
I'm the one who wants to talk to him, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I still don't like the idea of you going in there.
Be all right, really, as long as I know you're outside and can go for help.
Oh, yeah. Just like when our boys are on patrol. Someone has to guard the flank.
That's right. I know I can depend on you, Etty.
Watch where you're walking. There could be landmines.
I'll be careful.
Reynolds, come on in.
Thank you. I hope I haven't come at an inconvenient time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare. It's just that it's not quite what I was expecting.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't quite fit the popular idea of a bikie's lair, but I'll bet your home doesn't have guard towers and steel doors on all the rooms.
No, we're taken.
Well, sit down. Tell me what Rita's been up to now. Would you like a cup of coffee?
No, please, don't let me take your time. Actually, it's not Rita, it's something else. I've left the prison service, as a matter of fact.
For good, or is it just a temporary thing?
Oh, it's a bit early to tell just yet. But I do owe you an apology for not giving you a lift the other day when you broke down by the roadside. My only excuse is that I was under a lot of pressure.
Oh, I wasn't harbouring any lifelong grudge over it, and you did send help.
T.S. Eliot?
Oh, yes. Didn't you know every bikie preacher is expected to know the love song of jail from Prufrock by heart? It's the first thing they ask you in the job interviews.
You're sending me up.
Not at all. No, if I'm sending anyone up, it's myself. But not all bikies are out-and-out barbarians, and even the ones that are respect my right to my own lifestyle.
Now you're really making me feel like an intruder.
Why is that?
Well, I've come for some professional advice. I should have arranged to meet you somewhere instead of just barging into your home.
Not at all. I'm pleased to see someone who can appreciate the place. Most of my friends don't share my interest in things cultural. What's this professional advice you're after?
McCormick, solicitor's here to see you.
Oh.
Oh, how are you, love? Oh, bearing up. I think if I can eat some lunch, I'll feel better.
That's an idea. You make sure you eat a big lunch and a big tea.
You've got to be joking. I'm so uptight I couldn't eat a thing.
Well, you got to. You don't know how long it's going to be before you get in touch with Jessie's friend, Mabel.
Hey, I think we better talk about this later on. Too many flapping ears around here.
Don't you see the man's bluffing?
How do you know? You weren't there.
All the same he is. Do you think he wants it on his record that the first thing he did was make a block of women starve themselves to death?
Well, he reckons the department's backing him.
That's only because they don't think we'll go ahead with it.
I suppose you're so smart, you know what the department's thinking.
Well, I can make a fairly intelligent guess. Look, all we have to do is go without food for a couple of days. Make sure they hear about it on the outside. Those human rights clowns will be screaming their heads off. They'll make headlines in all the papers. They can't afford that. They'll be down here prepared to give us anything we want to call it off. We just have to show them we're prepared to starve ourselves to death if we have to.
Oh, I'm bloody not.
Well, neither am I. Nobody wants to, but we have to make them think that we will. Make our bluff stronger than their bluff.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, but what if they're not bluffing? We might all end up dead.
Well, at least we won't have to listen to your moaning all the time. Yeah, I reckon you're right.
We can't afford to waste any time. You have to go in there and tell them we're off food as of now. No lunch, not another crumb until the governor caves in.
Oh, go to hell. Can't we wait till after lunch? I'm bloody starving.
Well, it won't do you no harm, will it? Instead of being fat and ugly, you'll be skinny and ugly. Right, listen up, you lot. I've got an announcement. As of now, we're all back on the hunger strike. Oh. Shut up! I don't want no arguments! This head screw reckons he can walk all over us. Well, we're going to show him that he can't. And if I see anyone put a single crumb in their mouth, they'll be eating soup through a straw for the next 6 months. You all clear on that?
I reckon I picked the right time to leave, huh? Yeah, I think I might go with you.
Oh, just one more thing. I'd rather you didn't say anything about the police activity out the front. We don't want the women to know just yet.
Understood. What exactly happened, anyway?
A body was found there. We don't know the details yet.
Dear, makes you wonder what's happening in the world. It keeps me in work, I suppose.
Yes. Well, here we are.
All right, thanks. Well, hello. How are you today?
Oh, I'm feeling better now.
Glad to hear it. I'm afraid our case has had a setback.
Well, what's happened?
Well, it's your son. I'm sure he was only trying to help, but of course he's made things worse.
What's he done?
Well, he went to the police to confess that he was the one who killed your husband.
Oh, Peter, no. Well, he's lying. He's just trying to help me.
Fortunately, that was obvious to everyone concerned. Nonetheless, it has damaged our case.
Well, how?
Well, now the prosecution can say, and no doubt will, that your own son had so little confidence in our plea of manslaughter that he felt he needed to take such an extreme course of action.
Well, what can I do?
Well, talk to him. Tell him in future, stay right out of it. I believe we've a hard enough job in our hands without his making it worse.
The fact is, they seem to be genuinely fond of each other. If I'm going to make any headway with Roach, I have to get Bongo on side. Well, at least a little bit less offside than he is at the moment.
Yeah, well, I wish you good luck.
Thanks. I was hoping for something a bit more concrete.
Yes. All right, he's a tough little son of a bitch, as you've no doubt noticed. I mean, really tough. A lot of people are fooled by the way he looks.
Don't worry. I know from experience not to judge a book by its cover.
Underneath it all, he's a decent sort of kid, or at least he could be if he wasn't so heavily in with Slasher, the gang.
You tried telling him that?
No way. Secret of surviving in my line of work is not to give advice until it's asked for. To be honest, I've been pinning my hopes on Roach a bit.
What do you mean?
Well, from your point of view, Bongo's a bad influence on Roach, but I look at it the other way around. She's a good influence on him.
Oh, yes?
He loves her, she loves him, but she's not particularly into the bike scene, so the more time he spends with her, the less he spends with the gang.
You don't really think he'd give them up for her,
I
do
wouldn't
you?
want him to. Like, they're his friends, and let's face it, we all need friends. But I would like to see him cutting down on some of the more antisocial gigs, particularly now with the war shaping up between the Conquerors and the Eagles.
So basically what you're saying is leave them alone and hope for the best?
Not entirely. Just leave it with me, and if I think of something, I'll get back to you.
I'd appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure. One thing, I'd say you've already won a few points for not getting hysterical the other day. Maybe we can build on that if we go about it the right way.
You might be right. I'll give it some thought myself. Well, it's been interesting.
Sure has.